Welcome to WP Theme Tutorial. This is episode 35. This is part 1 in what looks to be about a 9-part series where we're going to build a plugin, and that plugin is going to let our registered users save posts so that they can view them later. The reason this is a 9-part series is we're going to cover a lot of stuff. We're going to cover, today we're going to cover roles and capabilities. We're going to end up covering action hooks and filter hooks in WordPress. We're going to cover front-end editing. We're going to cover Ajax. So we're really going to build a very full-featured plugin, so that you can learn how to do all these different aspects of it. So today we are going to start with roles and capabilities. The easiest way to start finding roles, if we go to users, and in my instance you can see I only have the admin user, which is me. You can see my role is administrator. So we want to see the other default roles in WordPress. We can click Add New, and you can click on this drop down at the bottom. You can see we have, 5 default roles: administrator, editor, author, contributor, and subscriber. Now a role is basically a name for a grouping of what's called capabilities, and so capabilities and roles are really tied together. Capabilities are things that you can do inside WordPress. The easiest way to view capabilities when you're getting used to this, and I even use this during development, is to use a plugin called Members by Justin Tadlock, and you can see it there. To install that, you hit Add New, and you can type in Members, and you can see it says installed here, but it would say install now. So install it and activate it, and then if we go to roles, then we'll view administrator. So you can see here that the administrator user can do pretty much everything, or they can do everything. They can activate plugins right there, they can create users, they can delete pages. Now if we go back to, let's say, contributor, you can see our contributor can do just a few things. They can't activate plugins, they can't create users, they can't delete pages, they can edit posts, delete posts, and they can read. Read is just a general capability that everyone gets. So our subscriber, which is the kind of the lowest permission role, all that they can do is read. So when they are signed in, they can read basic posts and pages. They can't really do anything more than someone visiting your site from the outside, except that they're registered. That's the only thing. So what we are going to do is start by building our plugin. What you need to do is create a plugin folder, and I've called mine WPTT Save Posts, and then inside that we're going to create a file called WPTT Save Posts. And the first thing we're going to do with that is put a basic plugin header in. You can find this code in the show notes as well, right in the post. So all I've done here is put in the basic header for a plugin and updated it for our plugin specifically. The next thing we're going to do is get our base plugin class, in this case called WPTT Save Posts. And all this does is set up the basic things that we need. We need different hooks in every plugin. So an activation hook, a deactivation hook, and an uninstall hook is what we're starting with. I think these should be fairly obvious. Activation will run when we activate the plugin. Deactivation will run when we deactivate the plugin, and uninstall will run when we uninstall our plugin. We'll eventually fill in all of these with information so that we can clean up our plugin and have a really nice one. But for now, what we're going to do is start with our activation hook. So to save posts, we want to make sure that users are in fact allowed to do that. So they'll have to be registered, and we want to make sure that they have the capability. In this case, we're going to call it can save content. And I'm calling it that so that in the future we could even easily add different post types if we want. So if you had, I don't know, say a store locator, and someone wants to save their store, and you've saved all the stores as a custom post type, then we can easily add the ability for them to save that certain post type. So let's pull our new activation hook out. And you can see our activation hook, it's doing 2 things. The first thing it's doing is getting our role, and it's getting the role of subscriber. The reason we're using subscriber is, again, it can't do anything in the WordPress admin except edit its own profile, and then it can read. And all we're going to do to that is, once you get the object of subscriber, we're going to add a capability to it of can save content. Something I always do is also add this to the administrator roles. I find that quite often we just need those capabilities anyways, because we're going to check them later in a different scenario. So you want to see, or we want the administrators allowed to be allowed to save their own posts, so we can do that, or some other administrative capability, and you want to check that with can save content. So I've also added that to the administrators. So if we look, I'm going to refresh my plugin page. I'm also going to open up my roles in another tab. You can see here that the subscriber has 2 capabilities. It can read, and I'm actually not sure what the other one is, but it has 2, and that is the default. So you can also see I have my plugin WPTT save posts, and when I activate that, it activates just fine. And when I refresh, you can see we have a new capability called can save content. And if we go back to our roles and administrator, we also have can save content. Now, something WordPress is not going to do, and we'll practice this by deactivating. If we refresh, you can see we still have the capability can save content. Now that might be fine if you're only activating one plugin here and there. And since this is going to be for release later and anyone can use it, what we're going to do is we want to clean up after ourselves. So we want to make sure that our users, if they're just trying out the plugin, the capabilities are going to be removed from them for them, so that they don't have, you know, thousands upon thousands of capabilities, because lots of plugins don't clean up. So we're just not going to be a bad steward in the community. So we're going to do that by using our deactivation hook. And for that, all we're going to do is reverse basically what we did. We're going to get our role of subscriber, and then we're going to use the function called remove cap. And then we're going to do the same thing for administrator. Get role, and then remove cap can save content. So save that. I'm going to have to activate my plugin again. And then since we're testing, I'm going to deactivate it. And you can see that can save content is gone. If we went to our subscriber, you can see they're back down to 2 capabilities, and all they have checked off is read. Let's activate that again, and you can see can save content. So that's it for today. Next time, we'll continue to add to the plugin, and we'll get users to register by using gravity forms, because we do want users to be able to register, and we want some more information than what the WordPress default registration forms provide easily. Thanks for watching.